Hello! I'm back with a fresh cut, no less.
Stylish!
Give it a couple weeks, or like another month of unemployment, and it'll all be back, don't worry. But in the meantime, I've been trying to kick around a couple video ideas, and I will say right off the bat, thank you very much to everybody who showed a lot of love to the Marvel Tokon roster video. I appreciate that a lot. That video was very hastily thrown together in anticipation of the ArcSys Direct, in case they announce anything new with Tokon, which luckily they didn't. But you can definitely tell by the length, it was kind of just thrown up and very hastily edited. But I enjoyed reading everybody's comments, and I just appreciate. I will say it's probably the best performing video on the channel in my heart, because it got a lot of feedback, and I appreciate that a lot. But anyway, I was kicking around a couple video ideas, some stuff that I might make in the future, and all of a sudden we are now in the lead up to EVO 2025, which means a couple games and a couple companies are coming out of the woodwork to show off some of the stuff they've been working on, and one of those companies and one of those games is Riot Games with 2XKO showing off their latest champion, Vi. Everybody loves Vi, because she was in Arcane! There's Vi. And let's start off with the positives. I think Vi looks really great in this game. And obviously, like, I'm not at all mad about her inclusion, because, I mean, she's a punchy boxer character, also a very popular character. So, seeing her in the game is fine. And I will say that this is probably one of my favorite Vi designs. I think it actually is my favorite. I just really like the hair, I think. But she looks good. I will say, though, if there's one thing I do not like about Vi, and a lot of other people agree with me, I am not a huge fan of this level 3 super. What the hell was that, man? What the hell is even that? Like, what is going on in this super? I understand it's supposed to be, like, you know, from her perspective, or like, from the first person's perspective, and they're maybe, like, you know, they're trying to hide the brutality or whatever, but, like, it just looks, the shot composition and the framing of this is just so, it's just bad. It's just bad, I'm sorry to say. It's just not that exciting, it's not that punchy, and that's what a Vi super should be. I will say, though, recently they've shown off on their Twitter that they have gone back and changed some supers for some older characters, like Ari here, who, you know, not only gets a great super, but also has, you know, character-specific animations in the super, which I imagine, you know, they'll go back and hopefully do that more, so hopefully Vi will get that treatment eventually. But this kind of leads me into my problems with 2XKO, and more specifically, like, how this game is being developed and marketed, and just all around very I have very complicated feelings towards it, and it's a game I haven't even really played. And that's the biggest problem, is I haven't played the game because I don't have any interest in playing the game right now, despite being a League of Legends fan. And you could tell I'm a League of Legends fan, by the way, because I'm wearing a Twitch shirt. But yeah, I played League of Legends for over 10 years now. I started playing during high school. Definitely haven't played as much recently, which will kind of be our first topic here. Riot lately is... I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. I don't. Layoffs after layoffs after layoffs. Spin-off games like Legends of Runeterra, and now even the physical trading card game, are getting screwed over by very weird decisions, like not allowing a sim to exist. League of Legends itself is probably within one of the worst states it's ever been in, at least when it comes to, like, content rollout and stuff. You've probably heard all the shit about Hextech chests, exalted skins, the battle passes, even just, like, the content rollout. I mean, the game... we're halfway through the year. There's been like 2 new champions released to like no fanfare, and one of them was in Arcane. And this is my problem with 2XKO. It kind of just seems like it's been brushed off to the side. Now let me give you a little history lesson on 2XKO. 2XKO started back in 2015 as a humble little game being made by Capcom and Santa Monica studio employee Seth Killian, along with Tom and Tony Cannon, the co-founders of Evo, and not mentioned here, the creators of GGPO, which people know as Rollback Netcode. I have to imagine their goal and their mission statement with Rising Thunder was to create a game to help grow the FGC. It was the first game with simplified inputs. It was probably like the first free-to-play fighting game I ever really like kind of saw. It was accessible. It had good netcode. But the problem with Rising Thunder is, I mean, and you just look at these character designs, there was nothing really about the game to get interested in. All the characters were robots, and the robot designs look cool, but like it's kind of hard to resonate with these characters. And then on top of that, the game was very devoid of content. I mean, it had like maybe like 8 characters and then like 1 saint. So before Rising Thunder ever really got to come off the ground, Riot Games in 2016 bought Radiant Entertainment. And everyone saw that and started raising their eyebrows like, oh shit. You know what that means? And that's exactly what it meant, because eventually we got the announcement in Riot's big 20th anniversary where they finally started to show that they were doing more. They were actually Riot Games and not just Riot Game. They started making a ton of more games. When we first got introduced to Valorant, Legends of Runeterra, and most importantly in this case, Project L. Project L back then was a 1v1 League of Legends fighting game, and we didn't really know much about it because they were very tight-lipped on it back then. A couple years down the line, in 2021, they decided to make a very hard pivot, move away from being a 1v1 League of Legends fighting game to a 2v2 tag League of Legends fighting game, which I do think was the right move, right? You could say they kind of got ahead of the curve on this one, especially now, considering how many tag fighters are being announced this year alone. They decided to do a 2v2 League of Legends tag fighting game, but in order to do that, they have to rebuild the game from the ground up. New visuals, new systems. Either way, the game now becomes a tag fighter, and just last year, we get its official title, 2XKO. Which makes sense for a 2v2 fighting game, right? You know what it doesn't really make sense for? Being the name of a League of Legends fighting game. Like, this is what bothers me a lot about 2XKO. And Riot as a whole, when it comes to doing things with the League property lately, they seem so afraid of mentioning League of Legends itself. I don't know if it's because of the notoriety or the infamy the game has for its toxic community and whatnot. Again, we can even talk about Arcane. Arcane is called Arcane. It's not like the title doesn't even mention Piltover or Zaun or any of the characters or anything. It's just Arcane. And it's a good name, and it worked for the series, right? You're starting to see how much of an effect the success of Arcane has had on specifically 2XKO, because just take a look at the roster, and even read some of the blurbs. Explore a roster of iconic champions from League of Legends and Arcane, each with fresh movesets inspired by the MOBA and reimagined for fighting games. Arcane was already inspired by League of Legends. You don't even need to mention it here, but it's such a fucking powerhouse for the marketing, and obviously, like, having characters like Vi, like Echo, like Jinx, it's the characters people know a lot nowadays when it comes to League of Legends. These are the ones that are in, like, Fortnite and shit. So you gotta have them in there. But then we can start getting into the bigger problems with 2XKO, right? And let's start with this one, because I'm talking about this game like it's still in pre-release. Let's be honest, man. 2XKO has been out for a while, right? With the amount of playtests this game has, and obviously they change a lot between playtests, and they're adding a lot more stuff, obviously, like characters in between playtests. Most recently, with the announcement of Vi, they have announced a closed beta. Hasn't the game already been in a closed beta state? I mean, I think it's been more officially been titled a closed alpha state, right? Listen, man. Been there, done that. I'll give Riot some credit. At least in their case, they're not opening the floodgates, right? It's not an open beta, it's a closed beta. This does not change the fact that, like, They're starting to introduce things like the skins and the battle passes in the game. I'm assuming they're taking money for that. And even just in general, the game is definitely in a close to finish state. That's why they're saying they're moving closer to release. And they announced this closed beta, which we'll watch a little bit here. Also, by the way, why does Darius have a fireball? Why? I get that he's like a slow character, but like, why does he need a fireball? You're making the League of Legends players jealous now. The top Darius players would kill for a fucking fireball. They need help against these fucking range tops that keep fucking making their way up there and stealing the lane from them. But yeah, closed beta starts September 9th apparently. And this is essentially like a soft release, right? It's still, I mean, this is still a matter of, the game is essentially within 10 years, essentially, of development hell. It's had more showings at EVO as a demo game than it has as a fully released one. Right? We're now in 2025. There is a Marvel Tag Fighter coming out this year that you'll be sharing the show floor with in its first playable version. And we'll get back to the comparisons there. But it's seriously just mind-boggling that, like, now it's reaching a playable state, finally, just now. And the problem is now that there is way stiffer competition, right? I'm getting echoes of the 2018 Tag Fighter debacle of MVCI and Dragon Ball FighterZ. Only this time it's flipped and Marvel's back in the hot seat again. Because again, this game's coming out soon. It's coming out, it has a hard stamp release date, 2026. It's coming out in February next year. This game, to start with, let's be real, if we're looking at this roster right here, obviously I don't think it's going to be filled all the fucking way. But I even think that my initial roster size estimation was wrong. I think this game might even have like 28 characters. You know what fucking 2XKO is launching with as a 2v2 fighting game? 10! 10 fucking champions! 10! 10 characters, man. Oh, man. 10 characters for a 2v2 fighting game? For a game that's already been played to death and back. You are seeing Ari Yasuo every single fucking game you are going to queue up into. I like early access games. I enjoy getting to help see a game across the finish line. I like getting to see games improve over time. With fighting games, though, it's different. Because as soon as you open the floodgates, even in closed states, the sweats start coming in. The sweats start coming in, and they will figure out your game, any build of it, within a fucking day. And it doesn't matter how you change the game and how you switch it up. Simplified inputs are not saving little Timmy from his first game of 2XKO when he has to play against the people that have like 300 plus hours practicing their 38 hit like Ari Echo handoff combos that are touch-a-deaths. You've already fucked that up. And this is another big thing with 2XKO is the simplified inputs. Let's get into that real quick right now. If you don't know, 2XKO, like its predecessor, Rising Thunder, has like very simplified special move inputs. They essentially just have buttons that are your special move button, and it's actually akin to something like Smash where you just tilt it in a direction, or you do very simple motion inputs. Not like real traditional motion inputs, but like very simple, like either combination button presses or just tilting the stick alongside it. And they give you different variations of moves, right? I mean, and this is the thing too. I mean, like they clearly add a lot of depth to moves like this because they give them like each move has like a ton of variations and whatnot. Clearly, based off how the game is being marketed at the moment, it's really not being pushed to a wider League of Legends audience, right? Like obviously, like League of Legends fans are still going to be interested in playing it, and that's why the simplified inputs are there to help bridge the gap for them. That's like 50% of the player base right there. Like League of Legends fans that may want to try a fighting game. The other 50% are just hardcore FGC fans who wanted to see Riot Games get into the space of fighting games because they've heard nothing but good things about their games, right? They've heard they have great business models. They've heard that their games have a lot of polish. They have awesome characters in it that are really fun and unique and interesting, and they've been introduced to them in shit like Arcane and stuff, so they're excited to check them out like that. You know what fighting game players like, actually? And you may be surprised to hear this. They like motion inputs! Fighting game players like motion inputs. And when you don't have motion inputs in a fighting game, they get kind of fucking pissed off. You've already seen the backlash of the Invincible versus game announcing that they were doing simplified special inputs, and they've now had to come out and say that, hey, don't worry, we are adding more traditional motion inputs into that game. You know what game isn't doing that? 2XKO. It's just this style of input. It's all it is. It's these one-button special inputs. Now, this is going to sound very ironic coming from me, because most of my fighting game background, if you want to call it that, is with platform fighters. The games that started simplified inputs, right? I am a fan of motion inputs. I like motion inputs. Here's the reason I like motion inputs. You start to just because first of all, I mean, like, again, this is just a legacy thing too, right? People just want to play a fighting game and have it have motion inputs. It's part of the language and the DNA, right? Am I learning a new fighting game? Yes, I am. Okay, let me pick up a character. Oh, they have a fireball? Well, that's quarter circle forward, right? If you have a character with a Shoryu or DP, what's the input? The Z motion. There you go. So, it's a very natural language to help players get into learning a new fighting game, especially when they have history in prior fighting games. Obviously, that's very different for players who have never touched a fighting game and have felt alienated by motion inputs, right? But at that point, just have both. Do what Street Fighter did. I mean, the reason Street Fighter 6 did as well as it did is because they had a little bit of everything for everyone. And most importantly, they did not skimp out and just completely forget about their original audience, because that's the bulk of their audience, man. The bulk of the audience is people that like fighting games. And if you like fighting games, you like motion inputs. And Street Fighter solved this by introducing modern, control schemes, you know? They're there for you to use. You don't get as much of the move list as you would want for some of the stuff. Like, let's take a look at the modern character of all time, Zangief, right? But, like, with these moves specifically, you don't get, like, the heavy variations or the light variations or the medium variations. You're missing out on a big portion of the character, right? They're trying to ease you into actually learning how to do these inputs. Which, I'm sorry, too. I'm just going to come out and say it, like, a quarter circle is not hard to do. If you can't hold a controller and go from down to right, I don't even know why how you even get by playing most video games, to be honest. Like, I'm sorry, it's just, you should be able to do it, right? And this isn't to say that I don't want, simplified inputs or modern inputs or anything like that. I'm fine with that, but completely foregoing the option of having more traditional inputs in there for people that like traditional motion inputs, that just shows your hand, basically. It says, okay, you're more concerned with trying to reach an audience that isn't even really into games like this to begin with than you are the people that actually want to play it, right? Now, I will say, again, I was going to say Rising Thunder, to 2XKO's credit, the inputs they have, it makes sense for the game, whatever. It's League of Legends. Characters already kind of operate on, like, cooldowns and stuff anyway, and this game doesn't even have cooldowns like Rising Thunder did. So, I'm not a big fan of the no motion inputs. I kind of feel like it's a cop-out. You should at least have the option there for players, especially if you're a fighting game, man. That's not my biggest problem with 2XKO. You should know what my biggest problem with 2XKO is by now, because I already made a 55-minute video talking about how important rosters are to a fighting game. Here's my problem with 2XKO. And the reason I have not been interested in 2XKO at all, right? I look at this roster, and I'm just thinking to myself, why? Why me? Why do I have to like weird characters? Why do I have to like unpopular characters, man? Why? Why do I do this to myself? Because again, we're looking at a fucking 10-champ watch roster for a 2v2 fighting game. And the champs they've chosen are the Ruined Kain Arcane alumni, right? Jinx, Arcane, Braum, Ruined Kain, Alawi being the weirdest pick in the game so far, Ruined Kain, Yasuo, Ruined Kain, Ahri, Ruined Kain, Echo, Arcane, Vi, Arcane, she's not on the website for some reason, and then Darius is here! Darius is here for some reason, and he's like, he is one of the most basic bitch League of Legends characters you can pick. I want to state this right off the bat, right? I'm not mad at any of the character choices in the game, right? I think all the characters in the game look awesome. They look really fun to play. They make sense to be in the game. And on top of that, too, like, the characters they have picked so far, they're very obviously playing, like, they're filling out, like, playstyle niches, right? That's all fine and good. Really, the complications with this roster come down to the fact that there's only 2 characters left. And judging by how things are going so far, it's not looking good for the people that wanted a League of Legends roster in the League of Legends fighting game. Because again, it's just all Arcane and all Ruined Kain. All these characters that are on the fucking like the login screens and all the promotional material, and it just feels like they're playing it so safe. It's a fighting game, man. It's a fighting game. The beauty of fighting games is you don't need story. You don't need resonance on any other level other than visual. What does a character do? How does a character play? What do they look like? What do they sound like? What do they do? That's how you design a fighting game character, right? The appeal of a fighting game character comes straight off rip. If Ryu's your thing, you play a Ryu. If you like a little bit more of the edgy side, you go with Kuma. You like grapplers, you play Zangief, right? And apply these to your game of choice, but that's how you build a fighting game roster, right? And League of Legends has one of the most diverse rosters of crazy, unique, fantastical characters in any video game ever. I'm just fucking scrolling down this list, man. Take your pick. Crazy, unique, interesting characters. And then you look at the 2XKO's roster, and it's just a bunch of people in cool-looking costumes. Admittedly cool-looking costumes, but they're all so basic, man. There's nothing really all that exciting about these characters. And again, I understand a lot of these characters, too, they kind of had to be in the game, right? Jinx had to be in the game. I would even say Echo had to be in the game. I'm glad Echo's in the game. Yasuo had to be in the game. Ahri had to be in the game. Vi had to be in the game, right? And honestly, the characters I'm not mentioning, I'm not mad that they're in the game. Like, Braum obviously is a very popular character. Alawi's not the most popular character, but, like, choosing to do her playstyle-wise and even just, like, variants of body... I mean, even in League to this day, she's one of, like... She has one of the most unique body types for a female character. Because even with shit like Ambessa, they kind of went back to doing, like, okay, well, maybe give her, like, a little bit of an hourglass figure. You know? But, like, it's just been so one note for this roster, and it's so small to start with, right? Saying you're a League of Legends fighting game, coming out whenever you want to say you're coming out at this point, right? Because you could still hide behind the fact that closed beta is not actually fucking released or whatnot. But let's just be real here, man. Fucking 10 characters at launch, and this is the roster? It's like staring at a piece of white bread and expecting it to do a fucking backflip. Like, it's not doing anything for the people that know the League of Legends roster. And again, you have to think about what is really the audience of 2XKL right now. Because I'll tell you this right now, it's not Arcane fans. It's not Arcane fans. They don't care. They're just waiting for the next show to come out. And if it really was for Arcane fans, then where are the Arcane exclusive characters? You say it's iconic characters from fucking League or Arcane. You want to say it's from Arcane? Where's Sevica? And I imagine that at some point maybe it might happen, and that would be fucking awesome. But if you did this early on, I would have a huge amount of respect, honestly. I'd be like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting an exclusive character. But no, it's the standard fucking crowd so far. Standard affair, and again, these characters are all fine, but this roster has no spice. It's white bread and mayo. It's a white bread mayo sandwich. But it just really, it's so boring right now, right? We're 2 characters left. And things weren't looking good for a while, I'll say. And I'm gonna give you a spoiler warning right now. We might talk about some leaks right now. So if you don't want to know anything about the 2XK roster, first of all, I don't know why you don't want to do that. There's only fucking 2 characters left, and we need something, right? We need something. Because this game's, no matter what, this game's roster is already going to blow it out, even if these are the best final 2 characters that this game could have picked, right? People, data mine the game and whatnot. And they've been looking at character values. There's some characters that are missing, obviously, that are still in development. But we have some health values for some characters, and some of these are probably still in, like, an alphabetical order. So people have been kind of playing speculative theory crafting here, where they're looking at the health values, looking at that compared to other characters on the roster, and also looking at where the characters are in the roster alphabetically to one another, and they're making some assumptions, right? Let's start with this one up here, number 1050, like health value 1050, which is on par with Darius. This is between Ahri and Braum. We're looking at some potential characters here. Apparently, Akali is not in base roster. That is the one hard deconfirmation we have gotten from a pretty reputable leaker, who tends to have a lot of track record with Riot stuff, right? So no Akali. It's probably not going to be Akshan. God knows it's not going to be Alistair, right? It's not going to be Alistair. Considering the heavy Arcane push, Ambessa would probably fit here pretty well. Probably not going to be a Mumu, a little fucking friendless loser. Can't even have any friends in a 2v2 fighting game. Definitely not an Anivia. Probably not Annie, considering how weird... Maybe you shouldn't punch a child. You're not Bard, unfortunately. Not Bel'Veth. Not Bran. And then there's Blitzcrank, right? There's Blitzcrank. It really, between the two, without Akali, it's between Ambessa and Blitzcrank. And according to the leaker, they haven't flat out said it yet. What they have said is that the characters that are in these 2 slots are characters whose names are 5 letters. The thing with the one character, though, one of the characters they've mentioned, is that the name is commonly abbreviated to 5 letters. My boy made it. My boy made it. And that warms my fucking heart with joy, and that gives me a reason to care about 2XKO. If you don't know, and you can't see in the background, that's my guy. That's my guy. I've been playing this character for fucking 10 plus years. He's what got me into League of Legends. I would not care about League of Legends without Blitzcrank. And he hasn't been canon lately. So getting him in this game means the world to me, especially again in this current roster state where we just need one non-human even. We just need one non-human character. And Blitzcrank will look awesome in this game. He will be the game's first real grappler character, which the game kind of sorely needs. I will say, I'm kind of a little worried about how many big body characters the game has. I kind of feel like they're overdoing it a little bit, right? And I'm the guy who likes big body characters, but even I'm like, okay, maybe this is like a little bit too much. We already have like, considering we're adding Blitzcrank to this roster apparently, that's already 4. That's 4 of 10. Again, this is more so a problem with roster size than it is roster choice. But again, roster choices get compounded on to the smaller roster size. So let's move on to the more interesting character, right? Over here, we have a health value of 900. It's the smallest in the game with Ahri, right? And Ahri's like a very mobile, fast air dash character. They have to kind of like offset that and make her really her last cannon and whatnot, right? we do have a very wide range of characters in between Jinx and Vi. Could be Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's been poster child all over the place with League of Legends lately. Maybe that'll be like their little like Into the Void. But I mean, god damn it, dude, you do a Void character and it's fucking Kai'Sa of all things. It's not Kalista. I'm sorry. Even if like the 2XKO devs wanted Kalista, I don't think they would. Oh, how cool would it be though? How cool would it be? Like her fucking ult and the bonding shit. Oh my god, it would be so cool. They won't do it though. They won't do it. If it's Kalista, I will stand and applaud. But it's not Kalista, right? Katarina is the other hard deconfirmed character, and like really the official one, right? Because they've said like we tried Katarina and we didn't know what the fuck to do, which is already an insane thing to say. How the fuck do you not know what to do with Katarina? She teleports and has knives. That's a fighting game character if I've ever heard one. Could be LeBlanc, especially after the Arcane redesign. Obviously no Lee Sin already, which is such a fucking shame, man. Like how is he not in this game? It blows my fucking mind. I thought it was Lux. Right? But again, if we are going off the 5-letter theory, or the 5-letter thing that's been thrown around lately, can't be Lux, right? Again, though, I won't be surprised if that isn't true and Lux ends up in the game for the base launch roster. She is like a League of Legends poster child character. Like I don't even think the site has updated to account for how many fucking skins this character has in the game. I mean, like I'm still scrolling. So. They obviously want to get a popular character in that could be like a whale character to sell things on the game, because obviously it's a free-to-play model. I would not be shocked if Mel ends up scraping into this game somehow, but I really hope not. And it's nothing against Mel as a character. It is more so about how they use her character. She is so like she is so clearly thrown into things to promote Arcane and never really done justice on the character that was there. So I really hope she's not in this game. I also hope this character is not in this game. I'm sorry if I'm coming off a little weird on this character. I don't like this character at all. I am so bored of just like kid character who is kid. Fucking what's her name? Ellie? Don't you have a Pixar movie coming out? Go promote that instead. No Milio. No Misfortune was on, which honestly, considering the Ruined King push, is kind of surprising, but like, no, probably not. Mordekaiser would be so sick, but they're not doing Mordekaiser. No Seraphine, thank God on that one. No Set, unfortunate on that one. No Shaco. They don't even know, first of all, they don't even know who Shaco is anymore. Like, they have to rework Shaco before they put him in anything else. I saw people saying it could be Shaco. No, it's not fucking Shaco. Get real, dude. I did hear Silas getting kicked around, and here's what I'll say about Silas, right? Silas could be cool, and Silas, if he got in the game, they'd have to, you know, his whole thing is stealing ultimates. So I think it'd be better to get him in early on, and then then you could just work from there when you have re-lab characters. I don't think they're doing that though. I think they're just gonna say, okay, maybe we just don't do Silas right now, because they can't even get like normal supers right for some of these characters. No Syndra, despite her being like a very cool zoner option. No Tahm Kench. No Talia, no Talon, no Taric. Teemo. I'll come back to that one. No Thresh, really weird choice, I will say. Really weird choice. Thresh should have been in. Thresh should have been, even if Blitz was in, Thresh should have been in. Like, too popular of a character, too cool of a character design, too much of an easy layup of how to design a character. He is just normal zoner character. There you go. And if you have to make him a human again, fucking fine, whatever. But, like, why? Why is he not in the game? Vayne would have been really cool, by the way. And you go on Vayne. If there's a sleeper pick I'm pulling for, it's Vayne, actually. I think Vayne would be sick. Because this is one of the range characters you can do that would, like, you can design a fighting game moveset at least, I feel like. You know, give her, like, even give her, like, melee weapons. Why not? She's like a Blade analog. No Veigar, no Vel'Koz, no Vex. We're at Vi. So let's go back to Teemo. Teemo, if you don't know, is another sort of poster child for League of Legends. He's their most marketable character. You buy a hat at the games, the mushrooms, his little funny things. He's cute. He's a meme character. He could be a joke character. But honestly, Teemo's not even a joke character. He's a League character. And looking at the current roster, and look at the potential candidates. While I will say, it is harder for them to work on non-humanoid characters, especially smaller ones like Yordles, because then you have to account for like weird hurt box shifting and all this other stuff. You know, normal, like certain normals not being able to hit a character like that. If there was a character they were going to try it on, and try to get it right first time, it would be Teemo. And here's the thing with Teemo. Teemo, if you don't know, he's kind of, if we're going to translate him to a fighting game, he's kind of zoner, but his most infamous move is the mushroom. He has these little mushrooms that he throws around, they explode, they take up space on the screen, they're very annoying to deal with in League of Legends. Full roster, looking down the line, zoner, defensive big body character, puppet big body character, rushdown-esque sword character, disjoint character, air dash character, mix-up character, heavy hit kind of big body neutral character, brawler character, and then rounding off, we got big body grappler, and last but not least, this is your trapper character. Teemo is your Rocket Raccoon. He is your annoying fill the screen with bullshit character. Like, he could be your joke character. He could be a lot of weird stuff. But putting Teemo on the roster this late into the game gets people excited. Oh fuck, it's Teemo. We got Teemo in. He'll annoy the shit out of people. He will piss people the fuck off in a fighting game. But when it comes to doing a League of Legends fighting game, yeah, you do Teemo. You do Teemo, and that's your roster, right? If I'm just going based off some things we know and some expectations about things, the more Teemo starts to make sense, and I gotta be honest, I think these two choices, at least for base game and to get the game out the door, it saves it a little bit. It's still not perfect, again, but again, this is more so a problem of the actual roster size. And this is when I start to think about the future of this game, and it's like, okay, if I don't want to play this game in either closed beta, or whenever the supposed release is with these 10 characters, right? When am I going to feel like I'm interested? When there's 20 or so characters? When everybody's already practiced all the combos and stuff out of me? When there's other games out to fucking play? My biggest problem with 2XKO is it feels like they've already missed their window and they haven't even gotten their foot out the door. And like I've famously said, there is another game coming out very, very soon with a roster of lovable characters just as comparable, if not more, because it's the biggest multimedia franchise possible. And these motherfuckers got more characters on the screen, or at least the same number of characters on the screen that 2XKO has fucking currently. It's just, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. And again, I wish them the best, and they don't even need me, right? Because it seems like a lot of people that are playing 2XKO, people that really like fighting games, have a lot of really great things to say about it. But I feel like a lot of the great things they're saying about the game so far is everything to do with the fact that, like, this is just going to be a game with, like, a fighting game with Riot Games backing, and it's going to have developer support. And it's gonna have things like skins. They're not gonna be experiencing the fucking great Street Fighter 6 cat-like costume drought of 2025, you know? Well, they're still waiting for these fucking pool party skins. League's already got the pool party skins in, because they know you motherfuckers will fucking, you'll put more hours into a game than you'll have fucking cum stains on your Ari Dakimaru or whatever the fuck. Now I'm getting vulgar with it, I apologize. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about the matter. I hope for the best, and hey, if 2XKO is coming to EVO, and they're dropping a character trailer, and things are going the way we're going, maybe you might have me. But until I see things like a better selection of characters of your brand that you supposedly love so much, I see a better marketing rollout and more confidence in what this game can be. I see a care about being a fighting game and having things like motion inputs. I just don't know, man. I think I'd rather play the game I've already devised a fucking 55-minute roster video on, because I was excited because the possibilities for this game are endless, and for this game, at least for launch, we're already backed up against the cellar door. So either way, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you tuning in and commenting on the stuff I'm doing. Like I said, I'm kicking around a couple video ideas currently. Some of them may require more work than even something like this, so I don't know when they'll be out. But until then, I'll see you soon. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, please, just don't give me hope.
This shit a one-hit knockout. This shit a one-shot, bitch. This shit a one-hit knockout. This shit a one-shot, bitch. This shit a one-hit knockout, bro. This shit a one-shot, bitch. This shit a one-hit knockout. This shit a... Yeah, too to your Crody like slinging a 6. Too cool like my pulse, my chain in my wrist like Lumen. The pole, your cranium split like Lumen. I'm gon' get some prey from a bitch. Yo, boost stricken poses like taking a pic. Got blue by the hole, like she banging with Chris. Move to and fro when you playing with it. Use two hands though, just stay at the crib like what?